Welcome back to Weeknight Mysteries. I'm here with Rain. Rain, what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about Japanese ghost passengers, specifically taxi passengers. Before we start, do you believe in ghosts?
I'm not sure. I think I might believe in ghosts. I'm not sure yet, but I'm very open-minded.
Okay, perfect. And maybe this story can convince you.
Potentially.
Today's episode, we're going to talk about the ghost passengers of Japan. Basically, this is an urban folklore in Japan wherein taxi drivers noticed some passengers. And there were reported incidents where taxi drivers pick up passengers who mysteriously vanish during the journey upon reaching their destination. Apparently, these stories have been all over Japan and honestly, all over Asia. But there is one specific area where it was felt or the ghosts were seen more often. And we're going to Ishinomaki, which is a coastal city. It's basically on the northeastern coast of Japan, 5 hours away from Tokyo, so it's pretty far. Okay, so Ishinomaki, coastal city, northeastern of Japan, just by the sea, situated right beside the Pacific Ocean. 5 hours away from Tokyo, pretty far. It's kind of rural, provincial. And the taxi drivers reported that they experienced having ghost passengers throughout their journey. In 2011, at least 7 coastal city taxi drivers reported experiencing what they like to call the phantom fare.
Do you think it's real, or do you think it's all of them are just making up the same story for some sort of a reason? Why would they make up the story?
Exactly.
Is there a reason why they would lie about seeing these ghosts? What do you think?
Do you think it could potentially be to make Ishinomaki a tourist attraction?
I mean, that could also be a possibility. But I mean, what interest would some taxi drivers have in that?
Exactly.
They're just taxi drivers.
Yeah, and I don't know, if you tell me that this taxi cab is haunted, I would do the opposite of going there. I would literally stay as far away as possible and just walk. It reminds me of the story. Actually, an experience my brother and I had. I was trying to learn how to drive, and he was my coach, as you can say. And we were in this strip of highway back in Asia, and it's kind of haunted. Or at least there were some gossips and rumors about it being haunted, especially late at night. There was a story wherein, I'm not sure if this was real or just complete lore, but there was a story wherein one lady was driving in the middle of the night going back home in that highway, the haunted highway, and apparently there was someone, like a person, who crossed the road in front of them. And of course they stopped, took a break, and press on the brake, and then all of a sudden that person disappeared. Like it was a trick of an eye. And then they were like, okay. They drove ahead. This person drove ahead, and all of a sudden when she looked at the mirror, I don't know what it's called, like the mirror by the dashboard.
The back mirror. I don't know what's we all know what we're talking about. Yeah. So what did they see?
That whoever that person was at the back.
Oh, at the back.
Yeah, sitting at the back.
Oh, I think you told me about this one, if I can recall. I think you briefly mentioned something like that. Okay, so now circle back to your experience. Have you seen that particular situation?
Actually. No, not at all. I was trying to learn I was driving, or better say trying to learn.
Yeah.
Not doing very well. It was a manual car, and I was just struggling. And all of a sudden that car stopped working in the middle of that highway. And I don't know if it was because of me. Could be, but my brother and I switched. He started driving the car on his own, and it wouldn't work at all.
On that same particular highway where the legend goes that a driver saw a ghost in the backseat of their vehicle.
Yeah, the haunted
and that
highway.
same highway, the car that you and your brother were driving stopped working.
Yep.
All right.
And it was an old school Corolla.
Toyota Corolla, which, is known to not break down.
Yeah.
And what a coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. And then my brother and I, we just started pushing it, the car. You were pushing it until it was, you have to I think, turn right. We turned right. And probably 5 minutes after we turned right, my brother tried to start the engine again and it worked. Like nothing happened.
So do you think that it's somehow... Wait, is there more?
No, that's it.
So you think that this is somehow related?
I don't know. I think I'm just trying to express that I do believe in ghosts, but it could be just me being a crappy driver.
That you somehow killed the engine or
the
something?
The unkillable engine, yep.
Yeah, momentarily.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would be the motivation of this ghost to stop you guys? But you didn't see a ghost, right?
I didn't see a ghost, but it was it always stayed with me because I always thought man, that highway is haunted.
We should talk about that highway instead of what we're talking about today.
It's kind of related to it.
Okay, maybe that's the next paranormal topic.
Yeah, possibly. Okay, so going back to the story, taxi drivers in this particular city, Ishinomaki, usually encounter paranormal activities as they go on about their day. And in fact, in 2011, at least 7 coastal city taxi drivers experienced having ghost passengers. And there was a Japanese student. Her name was Yuka Kudo. She was writing her graduation thesis in sociology in Tohoku Gaoken University. And she interviewed more than 100 drivers. Some of them kind of just completely ignored her. Some of them seemed annoyed, didn't answer her questions. But out of 100, there were 7 of them who actually responded. And all of them told kind of similar stories about the people who entered their vehicles and disappeared once they reached their destination. One driver even said that there was a young woman who got into a taxi and asked to be taken into a particular place. And then the driver was like, "Are you sure this is correct? Because this was an empty area now." And then that lady replied with, "Have I died?" And when he turned around, no one was there in the back seat.
Ooh, okay. So as you were explaining this, I kind of quickly made a Google search regarding this topic. And is this... Oh, I'm sure you're going to bring this up in a little bit. This is somehow potentially connected to the earthquake that happened in 2011. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but this town, Ishinomaki, it's kind of in very close proximity to where the earthquake happened.
Mm-hmm. Actually, yeah, there was a massive earthquake. As we know, Japan, disruptions and natural disasters are pretty common there because they're in the Pacific Ring of Fire and beside the Pacific Oceans. There was an earthquake, and then after that came the tsunami. And there was a massive and devastating 30-foot tsunami that struck the city.
And it's strange that this particular event potentially led to a increase in ghost sightings. What would that mean? That people that passed away are now still...
They don't know that they already passed away. Maybe it happened too sudden.
And they're just haunting
wandering
Ishinomaki.
Around. What do you think?
No, I don't know what to make of it. It's a bizarre occurrence if it's real.
Yeah, I don't know. It started off as kind of creepy, interesting, but then once you know the backstory, it kind of goes a little more, I don't know, sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad. So yeah, this tragedy resulted in 20,000 deaths and 2,500 missing people that were never recovered. And ever since the tragedy, locals started reporting a lot of paranormal activities in the area. And they started believing that these apparitions and ghost passengers were the souls of the young people who died in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, according to Yuka, the the student who did her graduation thesis regarding this particular topic. Some drivers even noted that they noted their experiences in their logbooks. I'm not quite sure how Japan taxis work. Yep.
In their logbooks?
Like, they keep a record of like their passengers, perhaps the fees.
Oh, okay. And so someone looked back at those logbooks, and I assume that the people on those logbooks couldn't have possibly been taking the taxi because they are deceased.
I think
that's
so. Or
what was happening.
I think it was more of like these passengers go in the car in the taxi, and the driver immediately like logs them in, and then drives to their destination. But when they look back, they're gone, and so the record was there.
Okay.
We do have a couple of videos, and I know you've seen this. Let's play it in the YouTube channel for a while and tell us what you think.
Okay, so I'm looking at the video right now, and you've seen this one, right? So I'm just gonna narrate a little bit what I see. I'm looking at the video where it seems to be like a passenger camera on one of those taxi drivers. I assume this is happening in Ishinomaki. So seems like the man is driving his cab, and seems like there's no one in the back seat. Seems like he's all alone in the cab. Now he's driving on this road, and there seems to be some sort of a shadowy figure sitting in the middle of the back seat, and then they just disappear. They appear and out of nowhere, and they disappear instantly as well. Close-up is quite haunting, I'm not gonna lie. The close-up is very spooky. You had to close your eyes when I showed you. You can't even look, right?
I mean, if this is a fake video, I would be happy. Like, I would be more relieved if this was a fake video. How about the other video? There's another video, like, I think it was a parking lot video?
Yes, let's take a look at video number 2 that you have prepared for us. So video number 2 takes place in a parking lot. It's not necessarily a video, I think. I think it's a set of CCTV still images. We have 4 frames in total. We have 4 frames in total. Oh no, we have more frames, I think. And we have what seems to be a man walking to his taxi. About to sit down, we see a shadowy figure right behind him. And it almost seems like that figure is also going inside of that taxi. My question is, why taxis? Why not something else? Or maybe there's something more, or just the taxis.
I read somewhere that it's their way to, I think it's like a public space where they could actually go to their certain destinations, like their final resting place. I guess, and that's why the taxi drivers, instead of being scared of them, they accept them. And some of them actually pay for their fares, which they call the ghostly fares, just as a way of respect.
Okay.
So I'm not particularly sure why specifically taxis, but from the article that I've read, it's their way of like going to their final place.
Which would make sense. You need to, when you're a ghost, still doesn't mean you can't enjoy
the taxi cab.
The public transportation. Okay, you have anything else about this ghost taxi topic? I will say that to me it seems very interesting, and it seems like a lot of people are reporting this happening.
What do you think about it?
No, I don't know much about it. That's the thing. I think I need to dig into the topic a little bit, but from the first-hand experience, what you're telling me is very fascinating, and some of these images are quite creepy.
It's pretty creepy, actually. I mean, I tried to dig more about it, but we don't have much information, as it's more of like a local tale rather than like a detailed and documented one.
All right, so I think we have concluded the Japanese.
Not really concluded, because we didn't really conclude anything.
No, but like our kind of conversation, unless you have like more videos for us to watch.
Oh no, that's pretty much it.
And I feel like someone already commented that they would like to see more paranormal stuff. So please suggest your paranormal topics that we could review.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing.
And we could review them, and we especially would enjoy those where we could actually react to something, if there's like a video or there's an image or something kind of spooky that you would like us to kind of talk about, we're open to any ideas to talk about on this channel. But thank you guys for listening, and stay safe.
See you very soon.
Yep, bye.